Hi again and welcome to the next video of the fifth section, Importing Assets. In the previous video we've learned about a 2D adventure. In this video we'll learn more about importing assets. Starting from an empty project created in the previous section, let's now import the texture assets we'll be using, both for the player character and environment. The assets to import are included in the companion files in the section 05/assets folder. From there, select all textures together in Windows Explorer or Mac Finder and drag and drop them into the Unity project panel in a designated textures folder. This imports all relevant textures to the active project. By default, Unity assumes that all imported textures will eventually be used as regular textures applied to 3D models in the scene, such as cubes, spheres and meshes. In most cases, this assumption is correct because most games are 3D. However, for 2D games like the one we're making, these settings should be different. In our case, objects don't recede in the distance, moving further away, but just remain at a constant offset from the camera. For this reason, we must adjust some crucial properties for all imported textures. Specifically, select all imported textures and from the Object Inspector, change the Texture Type field from Texture to Sprite 2D and UI. Then, remove the checkmark from the generated MIP Maps box. Then, click on the Apply button. When you do this, Unity flags the assets as having a 2D usage internally. It allows transparent backgrounds to be applied where applicable, such as for PNG sprites, and also has important performance implications for graphics rendering, as we'll see. Now that we've imported all essential textures for the project, let's configure our main scene, game camera and target resolution. Switch to the Game tab and set the resolution to 1024 by 600, which works well across many devices. To do this, click on the Free Aspect button from the Game tab toolbar and pick 1024 by 600 from the drop-down menu, if it appears as an option. If not, click on the plus button from the bottom of the list to add the new resolution. To add a new resolution, enter a custom name in the name field and select Fixed Resolution from the Type drop-down, and then type your resolution dimensions in the width and height fields. Once completed, click on OK. Your target resolution should then be added as a selectable option from the Game tab. Next, we'll configure the scene camera for a 2D setup so that our textures, when added as sprites, will display on screen at a 1:1 ratio, pixel for pixel. To achieve this, select the main camera in the scene, either by clicking on it in the scene viewport or selecting it in the scene hierarchy. Then, from the Object Inspector, change Projection to Orthographic. This ensures that the camera displays objects in true 2D with a perspective and foreshortened effects removed. Then change the camera size to 3. The formula for this is screen height divided by 2, pixel to world. In this case, the screen height is 600. Thus, 600 divided by 2 equals 300. Then, 300 divided by 100 equals 3. 100 refers to the pixel to world ratio applied to sprite textures. This details how many pixels in the texture will be mapped to a square meter in the world. A value of 1 means 1 pixel equals 1 meter. This value can be viewed and changed by selecting a sprite in the project panel and changing the pixel to world ratio field in the Object Inspector. To test the camera and scene settings, simply drag and drop a background texture from the project panel to the scene. The background textures are sized exactly at 1024 by 600 to fit the scene background. Therefore, when added to a scene and when the camera is configured correctly, the background textures should fill the screen. Congratulations! We've now imported our assets. Next, we'll learn how to create an environment.